What do Falcons do? We rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, show we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general, the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, the Golden Hard Doc, and the lifelong sports fan, coming back to you with a very quick recap, or not really recap, but preview of the Falcons at Tennessee Titans game. Had a video out later yesterday. I was feeling like garbage yesterday morning, feeling better now. It's amazing what some antibiotics and steroids do after being a little bit kind of sick for a couple of weeks there, and then just really getting hit hard on Thursday. But anyways, back to you today, back at work, back at everything today, and going to make a quick video about this. Falcons injury report, we have Tay Davis, who suffered a concussion and is not practicing yesterday or Wednesday, likely going to be out. I don't think he'll get the concussion protocol through by the time we get to the game, so he's probably out. Cordell Patterson also didn't practice, but that's really more of a veteran thing, and because he's been a little bit banged up. He looked great this past week, though a little bit sluggish compared to some of the other players on the team. He still has incredible mobility in the backfield, so looking for him to play. And Calais Campbell, same thing. He is basically just getting veteran rest at 38 years old. Then you move on to the Titans. We know that Ryan Tannehill is out for several weeks with an ankle injury, so it's going to be the Wil Levis show, which is something that our defense should feast on. Derrick Henry didn't practice yesterday, but we believe that's just due to veteran rest. And then the other guy that did not practice is Roger McCreary. He suffered a hamstring injury, so he may be out, which would help us tremendously. For the Falcons side of things, pretty much everybody else is a full practice participant except for Josh Weil, a tight end, who I don't even really know much about him. I'm assuming he's a blocking tight end. He had a concussion, and he likely will not play as well since he didn't practice on Wednesday or Thursday. Obviously, we have to wait for the injury report for Friday to know for sure, but that's just my suspicion. But let's talk about the key components here for the Falcons. Now, you're going to have Wil Levis. We have no tape on Wil Levis other than college. We don't know what kind of quarterback he's going to be. And he was not one of the top prospects in this draft, taken in the second round, where he could have been taken in the first round by the Tennessee Titans. He was the last quarterback on the board by the time the Titans were picking in terms of first-round talent, and he got passed on until the second round. Now, they did use an early pick in the second round to take him. He's been the guy that a lot of people said he's the future, so go ahead and start playing him. And it looks like the Titans are finally on that path to just saying, yeah, we're going to play him. We're going to see what we have in evaluation. And they're doing something that really the Falcons should have done last year at this point in the season with Desmond Ridder, especially after that Thursday night game in Carolina. I can't remember if that was week 10 or 11, but there was no reason to continue playing Marcus Mariota after that point, especially when it looked like we were not even going to be close to making a playoff run. So we should have seen what we had in Ridder just to kind of have a better idea. I think we know more than what we do today, as Ridder has definitely been up and down. And that's really where it's going to come down to for the Falcons, because I actually, as good as Derrick Henry is, I don't think that he is going to have a good day against this Falcons defense, and they're going to need to lean on him. Falcons have a top 5 defense in terms of yards allowed per game, and they are starting to turn up the pressure from the feast or famine style of sacks that we've had. We had 8 sacks in the last 2 games, where we only had 5 in the first 5 games leading up to that point. So I do think that we are going to get more sacks this week. I think the offensive line is hot garbage in Tennessee. And I think that Derrick Henry, as good as he is, he probably will find the end zone on a rushing touchdown somewhere in there. But the Falcons have only given up 1 rushing touchdown this entire season so far. So I don't think we give up more than 1. I could be unpleasantly surprised by that. But I do think that the Falcons will hunker down, that they will have a hot D up the middle, which is where Henry likes to run, especially at the goal line. I think that Nate Landman coming in for an injured Troy Anderson has been a breath of fresh air. I had to go back and look up some of his stuff. He was apparently amazing at Colorado before getting injured, and basically because of injury he did not get a chance to shine and ended up being undrafted. But he was a guy that probably had a 3rd or 4th round prospect leading into his injury, so glad to see that he is actually turning into a prospect that is worth having on the team, and glad that he stuck around with us and that we kept him around through the last 2 years to get a shot here. Then you have our corners. You're going to have, obviously you have some good wide receivers with DeAndre Hopkins. Treylon Burks, he is what he is. We'll see. He was a first-round pick last year. I don't know if he's any good or not, but we do have two solid corners in Terrell, and we also have Jeff Okudah. I don't know who should be on Hopkins just because Okudah's bigger, but Terrell is more versatile, so I don't really know there. You do have Jesse Bates in the backfield as well, and then you also have, or in the secondary, I should say, and then you also have Richie Grant, who came up clutch with an interception last week to help get the Falcons into a winning position. Richie Grant playing like the second-round pick that we thought he would be a few years ago. And I think that's a lot due to Jesse Bates. Glass Campbell still looking great on the line. David Onyemata looking like a wrecking ball. And Grady Jarrett soaking up two defenders so that the rest of the team can look great. Grady Jarrett, I don't know why. I have a feeling that Grady Jarrett is going to have a breakout game this week. I think he's going to have at least a couple of QB pressures, if not a couple of sacks. And I think this is going to be another 3 or 4 plus sack day for the Falcons as we finally hit our stride in the Ryan Nielsen defense. Going on to offense, we do know that this is a stingy Tennessee defense. They're not a bad defense by any stretch of the imagination. Their secondary is where they are really strong. And I think we're going to have a Kyle Pitts day. I don't think Drake London's going to be a big impact on this game. But we're going to have to lean on the run. We're going to have to find a way to get Bijan Robinson, who's not on the injury report, should be better. And we're going to have to find a way to get Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson mixed up into that to just make this a nightmare for the Titans. So I would say the keys to victory are Desmond Ridder throwing under 200 yards because we're having 150 yards on the ground. That's going to be one of the keys to victory. The other key to victory is make Wil Levis pay. Make him look scared. Make him think that he is getting hit on every single play and force problems, force turnovers, force sacks. Do anything you can to disrupt Wil Levis. And speaking of turnovers, that's another thing. Desmond Ridder looked great last week against the Bucs in terms of passing efficiency. Did not look good in ball handling ability. I think it's a fluke from last week, and I think that's something that will not happen going forward. So I do think that he's going to be better from a ball security standpoint. That's all I got for you today, guys. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. I am trying to get to that 500 mark with subscribers by the end of the 2023 season. If you've not already done so, please consider helping this channel grow and consider helping my community grow by hitting that little button, which is down probably right here. And as always, rise up.